Well, hello. We're live here at the WHPR studios here in Detroit in Highland Park. Thanking you for showing up with us. This is What's Up Detroit. And this is myself, Joe Harris, and my co-host, Daisy Love here.
Hey, good
and two of
morning.
our guests, Miss B.J. Johnson,
Evans.
BJ Evans.
and Miss Jackie G.
And we are the Undisputed Truth. I want to thank you guys for joining us. What's the show, Joe? What's
Up Detroit. Our show will be about the things going on and off here in Detroit, and about the things that we're looking forward to in Detroit, the things that we want to do creatively, and all sorts of creativities. Today is our first show opening, and we would like for you to be welcome to us, and remember that we'll be here every Thursday at 11 to 12.
Yes, yes. Providing some great information about everything going on around town, festivals, to artists, to what you're doing, Joe, what we're doing, right? That's awesome.
That's good.
Okay.
Let's meet our guest for today. We're talking to one another just because we thought that we would get together and be together and open this show up and tell everybody what we're about, how we got here, and how what our perspectives for the future is, and what we're looking to be able to contribute to Detroit and the music scene and the creative scene in Detroit, period. And let's start over here to my left with Miss Jackie G.
Hello, I'm so grateful to be a part of this wonderful beginning. Yay.
That's awesome, yes. And over here to my right is the one and only Miss BJ, Brenda Evans, Undisputed Truth, face of the group.
Hello, everybody. My pleasure being here.
Good. We want to talk about some of the things that that's going on in Detroit from the past, our roots, and also we're going to be talking about things that are happening in Detroit today. The music scene basically is where we're coming from, but we're going to be talking about it, everything as far as creativity, dance, music, musicianship, and this the current events, things going around in Detroit and the area.
Yes.
What you think?
I think I want to talk about Drew.
Okay, well, of course, and we got Drew Schultz.
Yes.
Drew Schultz is one of our friends who we were hoping that we were able to get him on our show today, but he's got a class, and that class is a conflict because we were trying to get our times together for what we were going to do. But we're looking forward to having Drew and a few other folks that will be part of the show with us as we go on in the future. We would be an hour, and in that hour we would probably have two guests.
Yeah.
You know, someone from the past to talk about the legacy of the music scene and the art scenes in Detroit, and the new and up and coming folks that are here in Detroit today. And we just want to try to be a little bit different, a little bit creative. We want to be able to bring folks to their personality and have folks coming in here feeling very relaxed and doing what they do. We also are looking forward to keeping you current on our current events as far as the Undisputed Truth and the things that we're doing, the things that we're about. We have a lot of mixed emotions about the show today, and we'll be getting into it a little later on. We don't want to make any real heavy announcements, but you know, we're praying for a few folks that that we need to pray for, and that's just what it's all about. And we would not this show, but the shows coming up, we would be answering the phones. We would, of course, you would have a phone number that you can call, and we can call in and talk about things that may be on your minds, and the things that some current events about things that you may be involved in. So we wanted the show to be a show of everybody, for everybody, something for everybody. We want the folks to feel as though that they are part of the show, and we want to open this up with the Motown 60 this year. There's a lot of things that are going to be going on here in Detroit. In fact, next week we will be at Elizabeth Park.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's going to be a pretty big show. So what's that all about?
It's in Trenton, Michigan. It's, of course, Alexander Zonjic, you know, Detroit's citizen. I guess we can call him that, because we kind of took him and made him our own. But Alexander Zonjic gives shows every other month with all kind of artists, you know, jazz. I haven't heard him do rap yet.
No.
Think we can put together a rap show,
Well, I mean, it's creative.
a hip hop show for
Yeah.
Alexander? Yeah.
Okay.
I think we can work something like that out.
It's hip hop.
But
That's
yeah.
creative.
So
Whatever
he's going to have us on there,
Yeah,
right?
right.
With Martha Reeves, of course.
Martha Reeves,
And
the Mark Scott, and the
and the Miracles.
Miracles.
Yeah.
Who else is on
Spider
there?
Turner's
Spider
now
Turner.
in. Yeah.
Yes.
So it's going to be a
Carolyn.
really
Carolyn
good
Crawford.
show.
Yeah.
Carolyn,
Yeah.
yes. Yes.
So it's going to be a good weekend.
Yeah.
You know?
Motown on the River.
Motown on the River.
Yes.
We're looking forward to seeing all of our friends out there and having fun. It's an all-day affair, so you can bring your chairs, you can bring your grills. I don't know
It's
if
a family
It's a fam-
yeah.
yeah.
Kids.
Yeah,
It's free.
yeah,
It's
Yeah.
free to the
free.
public, so
And
everyone's
we come on
welcome to
at
come.
5 o'clock, right, Joe?
Yeah, it's a 5. Yeah, we hit
Yeah.
at 5, somewhere around 5, and
Yeah.
the admission is only for your parking.
That's right.
You pay for $5 parking, and everything there else is
It's an all-day show.
all-day show. You're
Yeah.
gonna see Motown at its best today,
Yes.
and
yeah.
that's what we'll be talking about and what we'll be talking about doing.
Right.
Right now, we would like to talk about Undisputed Truth. Let's talk about one another so that we can, so folks can get an opportunity to know us a little bit better and a little bit more personable. And let's start with BJ. Can you tell us something about you and how you got into all this stuff from your roots and to today, and what you aspire to be from this point on?
Okay. Well, first of all, I came from Los Angeles, California, actually. I was born and raised in Los Angeles. My sibling and I, we started a neighborhood group. And so we always sang. My mom, she played the piano at church, so we had that musical background. And anyway, as a young girl in elementary school, my school teacher, she encouraged me to pursue singing because she gave me a part in Porgy and Bess, the leading role. And because I didn't really, I really did not have confidence or even knowing that I could sing. It was just something naturally, but I didn't know I had anything special going on.
Yeah.
But she did encourage me, and I just want to say to the young people, when you're in school and you have a gift of music, continue to pursue it no matter what anyone else says. If it's in your heart, you don't listen to anything but positive information.
Yeah.
Always think positive, because you never know where your journey is going to take you. My journey took me to Detroit, Michigan, and Bobby Taylor of the Vancouvers is the actual guy that discovered the 3 girls that I was singing with, which were called the Delicates. He asked us to come to Detroit, Michigan in 1969, the end of 1969, and open at the 20 Grand Lounge, which was a very popular place for those that are in the baby booming age knows exactly where the 20 Grand was. Anyway, we opened up for Bobby, and there was a lot of Motown acts and producers coming in and out. So we actually found a record deal through being at the 20 Grand. And anyway, it went so fast. Everything happened so very fast. Being at Motown, at first, we were just 3 little young girls, so we started doing background work like the Andantes did. Frank Wilson is the one that let us have that opportunity by giving us some background work. And so that's when Norman Whitfield and all the rest of the producers wanted to use us. You know, Stevie Wonder, Signed, Sealed, Delivered. We did Ain't No Mountain High Enough, Diana Ross. We did all of the Supreme's songs when Gene Terrell was in there. They used them, but they had us doing their background parts also. That's just how Motown works. And truly, my best experience was doing the album for the Four Tops. Woo, Lord. Stillwater's album. That was the hookup for me. So anyway, that's how we made our money until Norman formed the group of the Undisputed Truth, and he put Joe, and he said, no more girls, because one of the girls left, no more girls. I got a guy I want y'all to hook up with. So he brought Joe into the fold, and it was history from there as far as our albums. We had really great albums, but Smiling Faces put us on the map, of course. Smiling Faces sometimes put us on the map. So anyway, I kept singing even though I had left the Undisputed Truth due to getting married and having babies. You know, I just couldn't do it all. You know, I sung with Eddie Kendricks for 2 years when I had my youngest daughter, but she got sick, and so that made me realize what's more important. Being a mother or singing in all over the world. Now, if I was in a place where I had the monies to have a nanny, maybe I would think differently. But at that particular time, I chose to be a mother. So I decided to stay at home and be a mom to my girls. And so I did stop singing professionally for a while. And then I just did church and the rest of everything like normal people do. Like I grew up doing, and I enjoyed it. You know, I raised my girls. They turned out to be wonderful young ladies. But what if I hadn't done that, and I, later on in life, I would have regretted going on the road and them hating me or disliking me, saying you never was there for me. Things like that happen in real life. So when they got grown and everything focused on them, I realized, you know what? I can go back being in the Undisputed Truth now.
Go back to doing your singing thing. Back to what you love.
So in 1976, 2016, because I'm thinking of Daisy when she joined. Daisy joined in 2006.
That's right.
And in 2016 is when I returned, and then I came back to Detroit with one duffel bag, knowing.
One duffel bag.
Yeah, I came back with one duffel bag. That's how much faith I had in what I was doing. Because I asked God a year before this happened, should I come back and sing? And it took him a year for me to hear his voice to say yes. But that's the truth. This is a true story. So anyway, I joined, and we went in and started cutting some songs. Truly. Truly a good, how many did we do? 8 so far?
Yeah.
We've cut 8 so far, and it's available. You guys check it out. It's The Truth Gonna Set You Free. Pick it up. You can get it on CD Baby, and you can also pick it up on our website, the Real Undisputed Truth. Okay? So is that enough talking?
No.
Oh.
No, you got a whole hour.
For me.
But that's a journey to be able to know where you were then, and then to make that decision, because I know as a singer, for me, when I had little kids, and I've sang since before they were born, but as they grew, I had to decide. And I had opportunities to leave the state, and I chose not to. I chose to stay in Detroit because I was like, well, I love music, so I have to figure out a way to do it where I can raise my kids and still be able to do what I love. And that brings its own reward, because your kids actually become a part of your music. They start becoming background singers.
Yeah, that's
and
true.
when you start seeing them pick up instruments and start playing, I'm like, wow, I never thought it could happen like that.
Sure.
But it does, and so that is a blessing in it.
It
and
is.
So, but I'm sure the girls appreciate you for doing your thing.
They do.
Say, Mom, we love you.
And it shows, I have 3 daughters, and all 3, of course, have different personalities. but I can feel the love, you guys. I can feel it. It's no question in my mind. They love their mom. They saw the struggles and whatnot that I went through, you know, because it's struggles, you know. It's not all, you know, roses and sugar and cream and everything. It's times where we had to wonder, how are we going to have this meal tonight? You know what I'm saying? So, but all in all, they all turned out to be beautiful ladies. One is the first lady at her church. She's the director of her church. The other daughter, she's the, she teaches, coaches, rather, I should say coach. She coaches the young kids at her church and with dance. She's ministry of dance. The other daughter, she has raised her son on her own. So it has been, and he's never been in trouble, never been in jail.
Oh, that's good. That's good. That's
Never been on drugs.
Yeah.
It's just, I've been blessed.
Yes.
The generation, and then I'm a grandmother now, you know, quite naturally. All of my grandchildren are doing well in school, you know. God has shown me He loves me, but He also has shown me He loves my children and my grandchildren. So this is a generational trickling down of love that I am experiencing. And to be in the undisputed truth.
Don't start. BJ's the weepy one. See, we call her look, Mama Weepy because she will break them tears.
I'm getting teary-eyed right now. To be in a group of 3 individuals with so much love. So
She's
much
the bomb,
love.
though. How can you
So
not
much
love this
love.
lady? I'm just going to tell you, we rehearse every week, right?
Yes.
Every week. Now, we've been doing it twice for the last couple weeks because we got the show. BJ makes sure we have lunch set out. And she's so conscious of everyone because I have like super allergies. But she doesn't put anything out there that I'm allergic to. She always makes sure everything is set and perfect. So that love is, you know how they say, be what you want to receive?
Yeah.
You are what you want to receive. You are love, and so you receive love. You get it? And so that's why we here, sister.
Yes, but God, I truly believe that God put us together.
Yeah.
Because when I see the devotion of Jackie and Daisy, of all of the years that they've been with Joe, you know, the public might not even know all of the years. And this is without money coming in. This is without the fame and everything. To see that and still be here. And Joe, you have never not been, I mean, this person here, he loves music, you guys, and he's never not pursued music. But what I love about Joe is he has elevated his gift now of producing. He's producing, and to produce is one thing, to be an artist is another. I have seen, when I came back, and at first I was saying, what? Joe don't know what he's doing. What? He's trying to tell me what to do. What are you trying to tell me what to do? And I looked up and I listened, but I'm not hard-headed. One thing I'm not is hard-headed. So I allowed him to take the wheel, and when I saw how he interacted with Jackie and Daisy, that made me come on board. That made me say, you know what? If they can listen to him and respect what he's saying, then so can I. Better late than never.
Yeah.
Well, you know, and see, the thing about it is, this combination wasn't very easy to put together because before I came to Detroit, you know, I left LA and I went to Las Vegas. I stayed in Las Vegas maybe almost 2 months. 2 months in Las Vegas trying to retool the group. And what I found in Las Vegas was not what I was used to, you know. In other words, I came upon a lot of folks that were in other active groups, a lot of folks that were in groups that were very big, and trying to formulate something with folks that were trying to do a lot of things, and trying to recreate or refurbish a brand that's already established is how you have to sometimes approach some of this. And I kind of got frustrated because I had two ladies, three ladies really, and I want to mention any names, but they were, a couple of them were very big in film and couldn't sing, but they were doing a lot of different things. You know,
Yeah.
everybody was trying to act, and then on Vegas you got people gigging and all of that. And to put an act together, you have to be committed and put it together so that it will be. And you know, like we took the time to spend some time to
Yes.
retool when we got
Right.
BJ back in the group.
Right.
And it wasn't about trying to get a bunch of gigs. It's about trying to be a part of one another. I have never. And I say this all the time in interviews when I'm talking to folks, is that I've never done anything by myself. And in fact, even when we were inducted into the Hall of Fame, you know, I mean, we were first inducted with the Peps, and then
Right.
someone called Lamont Robinson, said, "Well, how you gonna get that guy there? And he's with Undisputed Truth, and you gonna put the Peps in?" He said, "Well, I'm gonna use him next year." And I was like, "Well, you know, the Thunder is out now." So he said, "Well, okay, well, we're gonna do it this year." And lo and behold, you know, all those things, and the folks that came and represented Undisputed Truth, and the folks that came that were representative of the Peps, were folks that were actually a part of being a part of something. And there's no way I could go up there and stand up there and say, "Yeah, this was me and this was me." I was doing quite a few groups. The Ohio Players, I was an original Ohio player. I was with the Nightlighters after Ohio Players. They ended up becoming New Birth, and you know, in their own, you know, all. I've just been fortunate, you know, in my decisions and the turns. We were talking about this earlier about knowing where you're going, and this what BJ was referenced to earlier. Leaving home and making these commitments to do things for whatever the reason. You know, I know that I believed in myself, and when these opportunities come, you know, I turn and go right or turn and go left. This one here, sitting here on this radio show and TV show, Mr. Watkins came, and we talked about this a few years ago, you know, and he gave me a call and said, "Man, let's do that." You know, I was like, "Okay." He said, "How you want to do it?" I say, "Raw. We want to go raw and do this and put this thing together." And once we get our feet planted firmly, it's what we're doing now, planting our feet. We're going to have our wits together, and we're going to have our guests that we're planning on bringing on. I've talked to quite a few folks that are willing. I haven't talked to anybody that didn't really want to come and be a part of it.
Right.
And I guess that's a part of, because people know, when they know something about you and know that that everything about you is about your career in music, then, I mean, people that know me, they must be involved in music. You know, because, I mean, that's where I spend most of my time, especially since I've been back here in Detroit. And without me just beating up and on, I got Jackie G over here.
Hey, Jackie.
Jackie G is really the reason when I was retired. I mean, I was really retired. I was fighting cancer. And I was on Facebook, and one of my old guitar players, Robert Lowe, hit me on Facebook and said, "Joe, what you doing?" I said, "Well, you know, I had spent some time in Vegas trying to put an act together." I said, "But it's not like it was in the days when we were performing, especially, there's nothing like Detroit." Let me just say this, because I've been in a lot of places, from Dayton to Toronto to Los Angeles to Atlanta, Georgia, and a few other, Louisville, Kentucky, when I was with Harvey Fuqua, trying to put this career together, because you never really know where it's going to take you. And like I said, I was in my apartment in California, and Robert Lowe hit me, and I was sitting there looking at the ocean, and I was like, "Well, you know, man, I went to Vegas and I tried to put this thing together." I said, "I just can't get people to be, you know, everybody wants to make it in a hurry, you know." And he said, "Well, look, I got a young lady here in Detroit and then the light clicked on when he said Detroit, Lady Detroit. I was like, you know, Detroit has its own everything, and when I say there's a certain drive to artists and folks that come out and come into Detroit and go out,
Right.
they have an appreciation for what they're doing because you're around a lot of folks that do it. And when I met Jackie, we talked over the phone a few times. She sent me some of her music, and I was like, "Oh, she writes too." And okay, yeah, you know. And
Get some skills.
I was planning on coming to Detroit. Some other things came up, so I said, "Well, let me send her a ticket," and she flew to to L.A. She spent time. Where was in San Clemente then, wasn't it?
It was San Clemente.
San Clemente, yeah.
It
I was
so
living in San Clemente then, and Jackie came out, and we went in the studio with my partner, Trey Stone, at that time, and we went over some stuff with her. And Trey looked at me and said, "Hey, these girls from Detroit be knowing what they're doing." I was like, "Yeah, you need another one." And we held on. I came back to Detroit, and we did some dates together. And another young lady earlier we had picked up that I had met with Belita Woods had introduced us to Rachel Cho.
Yes.
Yeah. And we started, me, Jackie, and Rachel started. Rachel decided to do what she was working on another project, you know, at that time, and she decided that that was the project that she was going, and she was headed to Vegas. So I was here, and I said, Jackie, I got to have another lady, and we got to redo this right, and the rest of it, Jackie.
Yes, first of all, I want to say that, as BJ said, things happen when they're supposed to happen and as they're supposed to happen. And I was just so blessed to get that call through Robert Lowe to connect with Joe Pep Harris. I'm telling you, my life has been totally different ever since
Yeah.
that day.
Yes.
And as you were saying, the way that I wound up with Daisy is, well, let me go back.
Yeah.
I'm going to go back
Yes.
and then bring us back to this point. But as an artist, I started out with movement, with dance. And I was pretty shy about words and opening my mouth.
Oh, wow.
So, yeah, I felt very comfortable and free. Started out in school, you know, and had a teacher that really encouraged me to dance.
Yeah,
You know, and I was a little more advanced than the other kids. So when I was in elementary, I'd go to the dance classes for junior high. And when I was in junior high, I'd go to the dance classes for high school. And there was a program called Metropolitan Arts Complex that I would go to. Now, at the time, I come from a very large family. It was 13 kids in the family, so
Ooh, that's a lot.
I was just, you know, my daddy drove a cab and my mom was a homemaker, and I had this burning desire to do the arts. So someone told me about Metropolitan Arts Complex. It had dance, it had music, and it had acting. And it had people, national names of people that would come. Alvin Ailey would come and do
Yeah.
classes, master classes. We'd have Arthur Mitchell would come and do classes, and the same with the music folks as well. And I have to say, in order, I wanted to do this so desperately. My dad was like really from this deep south, and he didn't understand.
Yeah,
He didn't understand the arts. My mom understood the arts. She would look at the music. She would have us looking at the musicals. We'd look at the musicals all the time. But my dad would not let us go to Metropolitan Arts Complex. But my mother knew that I was sneaking out of the window to go.
Oh, wow.
I was sneaking out of the window
It's a real
to
story.
go.
Somebody actually snuck
I
out the window.
was,
I
yeah.
can't see you sneaking out the
Yeah.
window, Jackie.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And then eventually, somehow, he kind of caught on to what was going on, and then it was okay. And we'd invite him to the shows, and he was so proud. My
Yeah.
dad was so proud.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So I wound up dancing, and then with Metropolitan Arts Complex and getting a feel for doing shows. And then I wound up going to Mary Grove College, taking some
Okay.
classes.
Okay.
And at Mary Grove, they said there was that one day some Penny Gaboldo, remember Penny? One of the heads of the dance department there, she said, you know, we're going to they're going to be auditioning for a scholarship for Alvin Ailey in New York. So I said, well, I'm gonna audition for that.
Yes.
And I auditioned, got the audition, wound up going to New York with a duffel bag
See?
only.
That double
Okay.
back. That's a
You have to have
Right.
faith. Just you have to have faith and a desire, a burning desire. And as long as you have those things and you pray really, really hard, it's going to happen for you. Don't doubt. Don't doubt yourself. Just move in the direction that you want to go in.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah, for sure.
And so I wound up with Alvin Ailey, you know, on scholarship there. You know, I danced with Alvin Ailey for 4 years.
Oh, wow.
I wound up there. Now, what happened was I busted my knee. I busted my knee. I was so distraught. I said, well, I'm not coming back to Detroit yet. But what happens is, what's the saying? When one door closes,
Another one
another one
opens.
opens.
Another door opens.
So I stuck it out and I stayed there. I was on crutches and then a cane, and I discovered I was doing portraits for people. became.
Oh, nice.
I wound up crocheting,
Oh, wow.
Yes.
Wow.
and there was a gentleman from Detroit named Ned Wright, who wound up going back to New York to do some Broadway shows. I knew Ned before I left Detroit. I wound up dancing with a gentleman who was a protege of Catherine Dunham named Clifford Fears.
Right,
And I was his
yes.
premier ballerina for 5 years
Oh, wow.
before I left here. But through that relationship, I met Ned Wright, who was one of the Phoenix singers. He sang with Harry Belafonte
Okay.
and
Oh,
another
yes.
gentleman, I don't remember, but they had a collaboration, and they would raise singers around town. Well, when I saw him in New York when I was hurt, and I said, Ned, can you teach me some songs? Because I think I want to start singing.
Uh-huh.
And he said, sure, Jackie, I'll teach you some songs. So he taught me a couple of songs, and I would do auditions, and I've been singing ever since.
Oh, wow.
Ever since. Yeah, I did some shows in New York. As my legs started healing, I started being a singer-dancer.
Okay.
And
Wow.
yeah,
Singer
yeah.
dancer. Now,
Singer
how was
dancer.
that? What's you was doing this dancing not at the same time?
Well, yeah, sometimes,
you
know,
really?
like a
Wow.
Lola Falana would
Okay.
do, or, some of the shows I would be in would require
that's awesome.
that you be able to sing
Okay.
and dance.
Nice, very nice. Oh,
Yeah, so after that, I felt more comfortable singing as well as dancing.
okay.
So as life would have it, I started missing my family in
Okay.
Detroit. And I said, I think it's time to go back home.
Yeah. Yeah.
I came back home, and I wound up forming a vocal group with my sister and 2 brothers. We sang for a while, met my husband,
Yeah.
we got married, we had children, and years passed. I was doing some solo things. The family group broke up. After that happened, years after that happened, I was doing some solo things, and I get a call from Robert Lowe. Phenomenal jazz guitar
Yeah,
player,
yeah.
phenomenal.
Yeah,
He was
I remember him too.
awesome.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Yeah, and he said, there's a gentleman from Motown, and he wants. You remember the group Undisputed Truth? I said, yeah, I remember the group Undisputed Truth. And he called me. We met in my living room, and it was awesome. We started doing some things and doing music and creating music. And one thing that Joe was mentioning, and BJ, something about the Detroit energy we love hard.
Yes.
We're all about family. When we
Yes,
commit
yes.
to something, we're all about that, you know, and the people that we're connected with, we love them so much,
Yes.
right?
Yeah, we do.
Yes.
We do.
It's my crew right
loyal
here. It's
team.
my
I know.
band.
My
It's my
family.
band. Yeah. So as we ventured on, we did some gigs. As Joe was saying, Rachel came on the scene. Then that didn't work out, and he said, well, you know any other females? And I said, yes, yes. And immediately I thought of Daisy. Now Daisy and I met through an artist, what would you call it? A production company.
Yes.
It was a production company
Yeah.
that a friend of mine asked if I would help do artist development. And Daisy was just phenomenal. You know, with those people, it's like, she really doesn't need any help. But we're going to act like, we're gonna tweak this, tweak that. It's like, whatever, you know. But she's so dedicated, all the heart in the world, and
Yes.
worked so hard and committed. It's like, I know who to call, Joe.
Yeah.
And the rest is
It's
history.
Hey. That is true. That's an amazing story though, because I don't know if it'll led me to music like that. That's just awesome though, you know. And then to know that you had the chance to dance like you did in New York, you know, that's like kind of been a dream of mine to go to New York, and for real.
Really?
That's real deal right there.
Yeah.
You know, I was going to go to New York and meet Spike Lee because I was supposed to be in the place of little girl that's always the Latina chick. What's her name? Rosie Perez.
Yes,
I was
yes,
supposed to be.
yes.
I was going to learn Spanish just so I can go and do the part. But
You know, you're not done with you yet.
no, he's not done.
You never
no, it's
know.
okay. I'm good on that. I'm good on the dream for the acting. I can do that later. But yeah, so that's a really, really good story. Joe, do we need to take a small break right now?
I think we're going to be taking a break anyway. So let's take a break.
Okay.
And then we'll be back in a few, and we'll talk about some other things that's coming up. And yeah, we can do that.
All right, sounds good.
Is it okay?
Be right back.
Yeah. Okay, we're going to be right back.
Watch WHPR and TV 33 when you want, where you want, how you want. WHPR is now in your pocket. Download our free app by going to the App Store or Google Play and enter WHPR TV in the search engine. And there we are. You can download WHPR TV or radio. You heard about it. Now come be a part of it. Roku Detroit Worldwide. Approximately 8 million viewers. You're watching Detroit's own WHPR TV. Detroit Live.
Hi, this is Claudine Jackson. You can watch me 24 hours a day, 7 days a week on the WHPR TV Now app. Download our free app at WHPR TV Now.
Tuesdays at 1:30 p.m. Eastern.
107.3 FM, WVIE.
How would you like for this to be you? Well, it could be. If you have the desire to be an independent radio personality, paying yourself, this is your chance. WVIE 107.3 FM and WHPR 88.1 FM are looking for people with outgoing personalities who can attract sponsors. Launch your career on a radio station with the latest technology in broadcasting. WVIE 107.3 and WHPR 88.1. If you're into talk, R&B, oldies, jazz, gospel, or soca, Radio We Can See is where you need to be.
88.1 FM, WHPR.
Have your own radio show. We have block time available. Call 313-868-6612. Radio We Can See. Broadcasting live in the Virgin Islands and Detroit. Comcast Cable 91, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. WHPR TV is now on Channel 90. Check out all of your favorite morning talk shows on Comcast Channel 90 every day from 7 a.m. to 12 noon, and watch us anytime, day or night, on all of your favorite devices. Download the WHPR TV Now app and take us with you wherever you go. WHPR TV is now on Comcast Channel 90 every day from 7 a.m. till noon. WHPR TV, a Watkins Broadcasting Company.
Breakthrough Revelation Conference, Seeking the Knowledge of the Holy Spirit, takes place Tuesday, July 16th through Friday, July 19th at the Word of Truth Church of God in Christ, 7101 Brevard Avenue in Warren, Michigan, at 7:30 p.m. A pre-worship conducted by Minister Rosetta Archer from 6 to 7:25 p.m. On Tuesday, July 16th, Chief Apostle Dr. Prince A. Miles from International Gospel Deliverance Center. On Wednesday, July 17th, Pastor Arthur Downs from Redeeming Faith Church. On Tuesday, July 18th, Pastor Miranda F. Pope from Rathwell Ministries International. On Friday, July 19th, Reverend Dr. Robert E. Gardner from the Word of Truth. On Friday, July 19th, musical guest Dr. Tony Booker and supporting pastor Bishop Shirley Little. For more conference information, contact 586-754-9673 or visit our website, twtchurchministries.com. Breakthrough Revelation Conference, Tuesday, July 16th through Friday, July 19th at the Word of Truth Church of God in Christ.
Have you been in an accident? Have you been injured? Auto, motorcycle, bicycle, pedestrian, truck, bus accident, slip and fall, dog bite, wrongful death, or police brutality? Then you need professional help from Tri-County Lawyers. No fee unless we win. Tri-County Lawyers. Call 888-292-6908. That's 888-292-6908. Tri-County Lawyers. Call 888-292-6908.
Women of Courage Show is conducting 2 workshops Saturdays, September 14th and October 5th at the Southfield Pavilion. The regular tickets for each event is $20. Contact Renee 707-881-7363 for tickets and vendor opportunities. This is going to be a spectacular event. There is only one person in this state that can give a workshop like this. Contact Renee at 707-881-7363. Come and enjoy.
You're watching Detroit's own WHPR TV. Detroit Live.
Hi, this is RJ Watkins. You can watch us 24 hours a day, 7 days a week on the WHPR TV Now app. Download our free app at WHPR TV Now.
Wednesday, 6 to 8 p.m. Eastern.
If you watch TV for free using an antenna, tune in. Rescan Day is happening July 31st at 12 a.m. What does this mean for you? If you are using an antenna to watch TV for free, you will need to rescan your TV on July 31st at 12 o'clock a.m. when we move to our new frequency. Rescanning is when your TV finds all the available channels in your area. Once you rescan, you will still find us at the same place on channel 15. Rescanning is straightforward and requires no new equipment or services. Select Scan or Auto Tune from your TV or converter box menu. Instructions are often found by pressing the setup or menu buttons on your remote control. If you watch TV through a cable or satellite service, you do not need to rescan. Your service provider will do it for you. Visit www.tvanswers.org for more information on rescanning. And if and when your other local stations are moving frequencies and make a plan to rescan, keep your eyes here too. We'll keep you posted.
Well, welcome back.
What's up, Detroit?
Once again, we are the Undisputed Truth, and we're here just giving you a little breakdown about us and who we are as individuals. Of course, you know the fabulous Mr. Joe Pep Harris here. I have you saved in my contacts in my phone as Joe, capital P-E-P Harris, because this man don't play. Okay. But we just heard from BJ, we heard from Jackie about how they became or how BJ started off and how she ended up in the Undisputed Truth. And the same with Jackie. My experience was a little different. You know, I I used to call myself the local girl because I didn't want to do anything anywhere else. I hate to say that, except for Spike Lee. You know what I'm saying? I was going to be an actor, but singing, I always had the ability to sing ever since I was little. And you know how your family go to you, hey, come on, Daisy, sing. Oh, sing the song. My song was "Sexual Healing" by Marvin Gaye.
Okay.
And Luther Vandross, "Can't Fool Myself, I Don't Want." Was that Never Too Much? So those are the two songs. So I learned early. You learn two songs that you do well, and you do those songs, right? And then you go audition with what you know, right? And but I had a musical background with family that was in music, and that kind of led me to music. My mother used to sing. My brother sang and danced. Actually, he used to dance. Clifford. Yes, I remember Clifford. But he used to dance with Clifford Fierce, right?
Yes. Right.
And Lady J over here knows. And then, so I grew up in the footsteps of watching them perform and wanting to be like them. Mm-hmm. And so that took me to school, and I sang in a choir. I remember at 5. I think my mother did it mostly because I was just the bad kid. And she was trying to keep me out of trouble. She said, get up here and you sing with me. And so I was next to her in the choir and I sang with her. And then from there, it just kind of blew up. Everything I did ended up into something else. And it was never necessarily me looking for it. It was people calling me, Daisy, can you do this? Daisy, are you interested? Or have you ever done? Would you like to be a part of? And it was just in me to say, yes, yeah, I do. Oh, let's just do it. And so I ended up in several groups, you know, with the intrigues and the persuasions with my homegirl LaWanda, hey, and the Nightline Band, and Larry Lee and the Back in the Day Band. So I did a lot of things like that, although I ended up in productions where I ended up becoming the lead director, and I'm like, hey, I didn't go to school for this, but I ended up in the positions and was able to do those. So when Jackie called me and was like, hey, Daisy, somebody's want to know if you'd be interested in singing a part of this group. And then she broke it down and told me, Undisputed Truth. I was like, oh, I know who they are. Yeah. And then Joe came over and we met in the living room.
It's always the living room. Well, I was trying to, it was about work. I mean, now, Daisy's a little modest because when Jackie told me about Daisy and she was performing at the, I think y'all were doing a weekend or something at the Motor City.
Yes.
I went to the Motor City. I didn't know her. We had never met. And I just sat back in the back and watched the show of the band. I was like, wow, is she going to leave her band like that? You know, she was singing everything. And I was impressed when she started doing Prince and some other things. And I was like, Jackie, do you think she'll lead that band? And Jackie said, that ain't her band. I was like, yes, it was. When I went and saw her, she was doing everything up there. And it was another young lady's band, and I was like, well, she's going to be sorry because she's got to go.
Yeah.
We got to take her with us.
But that was pretty cool. I mean,
and then and as soon as we got Daisy, we did the PBS show and the All-Star game here when Detroit had the All-Star game here. We were asked to be a part of that celebration. And from then on, we just was rolling down the river, huh?
Yeah.
And my thing was, the ladies were so good that, I mean, I could imagine, I really couldn't imagine what it would be like to be in a well-known band, and I'm singing somebody else's before me stuff. So I was like, you know, I don't want to become trapped in the past. I want to make music now. I got people that are musically happening today, so let's keep doing what we do. And I met our executive producer of our album and a good friend, Mr. Dan Aldridge. He and I ran and collaborated about a few things, and he said, look, I got an idea. I got a little cash that I want to put in this group, and I think that we can take it into the studio and do some things and put this stuff on music. And that was the beginning of all of this, of us, for as far as what I'm saying is this group being able to become a stable in their own right and recording things with their own voices there and becoming a real intricate part of making this be today.
Right.
And we all just kind of evolved back from where we were into what we're doing today.
Yeah.
And it's what you see is what you get.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And I like that. What the thought behind that? You know, the thing that really impressed me over the last year was all the thought that you put into what you want this to become.
Right.
And how you didn't want it to be dependent upon the past to create the present. You wanted to live in the moment and start creating the new.
Exactly.
Because the past is what it is, great.
Yeah.
And
Got us
it
here.
has its moments, but time doesn't stop, so we
That's
keep
right.
creating, right?
Keep creating.
And so that's where we are.
That's where
And
we're
that's why we have this new CD.
New CD. You got to get the whole CD.
Our CD is titled Truth Gonna Set You Free. Now, I'll be honest and say, when Joe told me the title, I was like, Truth gonna set you free or gonna? He said, gone. And I understood why he said gone. Because the truth is gonna set you free, but you have to know it. And
Yes.
the truth is in just as you do when you live in everyday life, and to know what is for you, it will be. And that truth will set you free. You just have to know that. And the songs on here is awesome because the first song is Truth Gonna Set You Free. The second one is You Can't Run From Yourself. So the titles tell a story already, right?
Already.
It's
Yeah.
already, the butterflies, now, you know, that's just living in the life. Yeah. That's a pop song that we did. It's actually from a group from South Africa.
Yeah.
And the group was called Jamali, but the song was beautiful. And Joe said, hey, got this song, check it out, tell me what you think, and we did it. Money, that's what I want.
Very strong. That was
Yes.
Barrett Strong. It was one of the first Motown hits, and this was our contribution to the Motown 60.
Yes.
So we wanted to do something that was a part of us and a part of the Motown vibe, and you can't get any Motown than Barrett Strong.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
And we
Yes.
did it like a party song. It's such a fun song. I mean, you got, when you hear it, it's the lyrics are the same, but you are going to be able to tell that we had fun
Yeah,
recording
yeah.
this.
Oh,
We
yeah.
really had a
The
lot of
party-
fun.
The party's on tape.
Yes, yes,
I don't know.
it
We
is.
didn't. What's this?
Party
Digital
on
format.
plastic.
With parties in the digital format now. It's not
Yes.
on tape. It's on a CD. Just to go over a few more of the songs, we have a song "Metamorphosis" that was written by yours truly, Miss Jackie
Yes.
G. Yes, and a beautiful, beautiful song. You'll love it, I guarantee you. You Can't Run From Yourself is it's a extended version of another song, but that's also Norman Whitfield, and reproduced with Joe's masterpiece skills behind it. You have to hear it. What Good Is Love is Cadillac Dale.
Cadillac Dale.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yes.
Cadillac Dale. He's
That's a good
awesome
song.
producer and writer here in Michigan as well.
Right,
And he also sings and performs, right?
Yes, he
Yeah,
does.
so he has really, really great music and excellent lyrics. I loved his
Yes,
songs. And then we also have a song that was serious for me because I was an Amy Winehouse fan, and I heard this lady do that song,
Right.
I Love You More Than You'll Ever Know. And I heard Donny Hathaway's version. I love the takes and the different ideas that they had on the song.
Right.
And so I was like, ooh, that's the one I want to do, Joe. He's like, you sure you want to do? I said, yes, I
She
do.
throws
Yeah.
down.
Yes.
Yes.
But
You're singing
to
on
me,
that one,
like
girl.
Aretha Franklin says, songs are about interpretation, and what your
Yes.
interpretation
Interpretation
comes
is.
is what you put on it to create something new.
Yeah.
Right.
And so I had a different interpretation. Thanks to
yeah.
Jackie, Joe, and BJ for hanging with me till we got it right.
It's all right. It's all right.
It,
That's how
it
we
turned
get
out.
it.
Yes.
It turned
Yes.
out
Amazing.
being one of my favorites
Yes.
on
And
this CD.
Joe asked before we did it, who would you want to play on the songs?
Right.
And I had a few people. Joe already had some people that he wanted to work with in mind, but my first person was Al McKenzie.
Yes.
And it was Al McKenzie because he was the musician at the church that I direct for. And Al would always take the song and make something totally different, but you knew what that song was. And him being what I called a master musician, because he could play all styles of music and he could MD all shows and for anybody basically. He kind of took the song and gave it the bluesy, jazzy feel that I really, really wanted, and made it intentional so that it didn't come across as though it was Donny Hathaway or it was Amy Winehouse. It now became Undisputed Truth song with Daisy Love singing it.
Right.
So that was awesome.
The gospel
Yes.
flavor to it.
Yes,
Yes.
a little gospel in there,
Yes.
yes.
Right.
He did it, I'm saying. That song was like, woo, I was like, I don't know if I should sing it.
No,
Because
you
the
were
music
supposed
is
to
hot.
sing it. You were supposed
But
to
it was
sing
beautiful, really, really
Yes.
beautiful. And there's a host of other musicians on here
Okay.
that we have. And we'll, as we go on down the line doing more of the shows, you'll probably get to meet some of those musicians that
Galen.
actually played on a CD. You know, Gayla McKinney will come in, and maybe we can have Dennis Coffey come in and
Coffey,
sit
of
and talk
course,
with us one day.
Yeah.
And
Bass player.
yeah, oh yeah, Ralph Armstrong.
Armstrong,
Yeah,
of
that'd be really,
course.
really awesome.
Yeah.
But, you know, this has truly been a blessing and a gem for me in my life to interact with all of you guys.
Oh,
And
we love you.
So I'm just happy to be here.
And we're all happy to be here, and we like to say, what's up, Detroit? We were very happy to sit here and enjoy you the first day. This is our first show. We're opening up and getting our feet wet. We will be back next week with the full show, and we hope you're there. We have an opportunity for you to correlate with us and on the phone, call in, and we can talk. You can talk to us and the guests. So, what's up, Detroit?